Hey, Vinyl Community, Jeff back again, and it is time for another one of my Perfect 10. Again, this is, I forget what number I'm on now, 7, 8, 9, I don't know, somewhere in that general area. I know I have explained this every time before, but in case you're new, I am basically getting this idea from Rick and Records, where he basically just pulled the 10th album, every 10th album in his collection, until he had 10. So he had 10 every 10th album. So I've been just doing that and just showing them. It's a nice way to go back and look at things that maybe haven't been pulled out in a while. Maybe want to get put on the turntable and give them a spin to talk about things. It's kind of just a random draw just to see what's up with the collection. I kind of, I see them as I'm pulling them, but I don't really look at the titles. So some of these may be, I may not be as aware of what is in this pack, aside from the top one, which is sitting right there. But anyway, yeah, so we ended the last one with Kiss. It was the Millennial show. That Millennium show live album was where we ended before. And I can see now, just from what I'm seeing on top here, that we're still in Kiss, because there's a lot of Kiss albums. I don't know, you can't see it back there, but there's like more than 2 cubes, I think, of Kiss stuff back there. So, and I have a small amount of collection compared to those people who really collect Kiss. I just have all the major stuff. So anyway, this is neat that this came up, because literally this past weekend, this past Saturday, I spent a good chunk of the day cleaning albums. All those albums that I got from that friend of mine, that batch of about 15 or so, plus a couple that I had that I just wanted to kind of clean up that I had bought a while back. And one of them was Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. I know I said it wrong last time. Yeah, so I bought this, and it, I noticed a little bit of surface noise. So I had to set it aside to give it a good cleaning, and now it sounds a lot better. So there you go. This is that best of album, and it's really typically harder to find. It was in the crate set that came out, but it hasn't really, I don't think, been reissued. Be good if they did. But it's just the best of album, but it's got 2 new songs, which a lot of people give flack to because they're kind of corny. And then it's got the, Eric Carr singing Beth. So anyway, it's one of those things I wanted to have, and I found a copy, somebody selling it, third-party vendor on Amazon for a decent price, and so I grabbed it. It's got a mild little warp to it, but it doesn't affect play, so it's got its age on it. But there you go. So that was the first one that popped up, and okay, here we go. Oh, I see there's 3 in here. Kiss Dynasty. This would be the first tour I saw them on. I don't have my Kiss shirt on now. So this was the first tour I saw them on as a child of almost, that would have been 79. I would have been 12 years old. So yeah, my first concert was Kiss at the Dynasty tour. And we didn't know that they were having issues. We didn't know there was, major issues. We didn't know that Peter Criss was on the outs at that point. It was just, hey, I was a kid, went to the concert. It was a great time. So there you go. Still love that album. My band keeps throwing around the idea of playing around Kiss, and we've been talking about I Was Made for Loving You. I know it's kind of disco-y, but it is very popular, and, we just haven't done it yet. Kiss Rock and Roll Over. Now, for the longest time, had this has got so many great hits on it, but I remember mentioning this in some other video I did years ago on them. This album always, to me, felt like it was just kind of weak. It just was like, the live versions are so much better. But then I go back and I revisited it after a long time, and I thought, this is a really good album. I mean, it's got some of the greatest hits on it. I just always kind of, maybe because I just was comparing it to the live stuff, but I always felt this album was just kind of, felt like it was thin and, just kind of weak. But I guess, like I say, it's just because the thickness of the live versions, you get used to hearing that. But yeah, it's really a solid album. You turn it up on higher volumes, and it's fine. All right, KKsPriest, of course, KK Downing of Judas Priest, Tim Owens, blah blah blah. They have a new album coming out. Looking forward to hearing that. This is very much Priest-like, and So when when you take the guitar player from Judas Priest and you take the singer from a Judas Priest tribute band who used to sing for Judas Priest, you're going to get something that sounds a little bit like classic Priest. So anyway, great stuff. Traditional metal feel there. Oh, okay, cool. KXM. So this is, you got a mixture here of you got George Lynch from Dokken, you got Doug Pinnick from King's X. I'm assuming anyway, I forget the drummer guy, but this is a super group type trio, and they've done 3 albums, 2 or 3. I think I've got 2 of the 3 albums. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, so yeah, just some straightforward modern. These came out a couple years ago. Modern edged, heavy hard rock and stuff. Good stuff. Big fan of Doug Pinnick and them. All right, Last in Line, A Day in the Life. This is just a little EP. When I bought it, I thought it was a new album. I didn't think about it. I saw it, grabbed it, and then I got it home, and I'm like, oh, it's only a little EP single. 2 songs and 2 live tracks. They do have a new album out now, and I need to get that. It is on my list, but I am, again, waiting for the price to drop a little, hopefully, maybe, before I grab it. But, yeah. Last in Line, of course, band that started off as being the original lineup from Dio after Dio passed away. You got Vivian Campbell, you got Vinny Appice, and you got some. This is actually a slightly different lineup, but when they first got back together, it was mainly the guys that had formed the Last in Line touring band for Dio, and they got together and wrote some new music, and they did some touring and stuff, playing some of the old Dio classics, and then they put an album out or 2, and so this is later, and they've changed a little bit. So yes, you can see it's got people there, but they're still putting out good music, and like I said, there's a new album out that I need to get. This is a new addition to the collection, Led Zeppelin 3. Just got this for my birthday last month, so there you go. And then, of course, in the my friend that gave me the records the other day, I got House of the Holy. So now I've got 2 Led Zeppelin vinyl releases. Of course, I have them all on CD. So, all right, this is one, AlvinLee and Mylon Lefevre. I have pretty much everything Mylon Lefevre has. Most of his stuff that he's done. He's done some early gospel albums with his family. I don't have that, and some later stuff that never came out on vinyl, but I love all of his stuff from the 70s and 80s, and this is one that I had to pick up. And of course, you got AlvinLee. Was he 10cc or one of those classic bands, and they got together and did this compilation because they were pretty hot back in the day. Mylon was a great songwriter, wrote a lot of great stuff. He even wrote some songs for Elvis, and he was a big songwriter before he became a musician himself, as far as becoming a solo artist and doing rock and roll, and then moving over into Christian rock, and that's kind of where he's at now. He's kind of more of a pastor aspect now, but he does occasionally sing, I believe. All right, Leviticus, The Strongest Power. Second Leviticus album, Swedish band, heavy metal band in the Christian realm. And yeah, these were recently reissued. However, the one that came out of my collection here, I guess because I've got them all in there, is the original pressing on Pure Metal. I should say the original pressing of Pure Metal, because there is an original Swedish pressing that's a different label. But anyway, I love that band, and that was back in the 80s. And then last but not least, not that we're ranking them or anything, LiquidTensionExperiment, the first album, recently reissued on vinyl, and was glad to have it. It's on a splatter. So this was a super group at the time. You've got, Tony Levin, how's he, King Crimson. He's done a lot of stuff. John Petrucci of Dream Theater, Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, and Jordan Rudess at that time, not of Dream Theater. But basically, once he joined Dream Theater, they said no need to have LiquidTensionExperiment, so they stopped doing albums after 2 albums, because it's like, now it's just 3/4 Dream Theater. Let's not do it anymore. They stopped doing it. Then Mike Portnoy left Dream Theater in 2010, and so now it's no longer them doing 2/3 Dream Theater, and so basically they got back together 2 years ago and did a new album, a 3rd album. So yeah, and then because of that, I guess, the label went back and reissued the first 2 albums. And so here we go. This is double record. I love this one probably the most, because I wore this sucker out when it came out. Love this, love this. Anyway, that's it. Perfect 10 more, and we'll move on. Keep doing this. We're plowing through it. We are over here now. Actually, we're over here now. So still got all that, and some of that. There's some other sections over here. Thanks for watching, though. See you later. Rock on and rock hard.